Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing Game Week 7 in the Premier League. Starting off in South London, Crystal Palace against Liverpool. I did predict a 1-goal Liverpool win. Liverpool absolutely dominated the first half. Jota scored his first real chance of the game, but it was really poor defending from Palace. He then missed a very good chance though. But Palace were horrendous in that first half. And in the second half, Liverpool had a big chance through Mohamed Salah, brilliant ball from Van Dijk. But after Jean-Philippe Mateta came on, the tide turned completely. Liverpool were under the cosh, and they were very lucky not to concede. Alisson went off with an injury, and Jaros, the backup goalkeeper who came on, made a brilliant save from Naberi as a one-on-one. Brilliant work from Mateta, but he should be scoring that. However, Crystal Palace should have had a penalty when Virgil van Dijk clearly pulled Mark Gahey with both hands, and for some reason that wasn't given. It was checked for 2 seconds before they cleared it, and it was so obviously a penalty. A similar incident happened a couple of weeks ago between West Ham and Chelsea. Wasn't given there either, but VAR then came out and said they got it wrong. So how have they not given it again? Like Arsenal against Southampton, I did think it was going to be an easy Arsenal win. They did still win fairly comfortably in the end, but it was a lot closer than I expected. I think part of it was because Arteta's team selection was a bit strange. He played both Sterling and Jesus. I know it's a pretty easy game, and he was obviously trying to give out a bit of rotation and stuff, give the players that haven't played a lot some more minutes. But if you're going to do that, why not play Ethan Nwaneri? It's a perfect opportunity for a young lad to come in against a low Premier League team and prove himself. He's got the creativity in this, and I was bewildered by the fact that he did not start, considering he did make changes. And although the scoreline wasn't too dominant, they were really in Arsenal. They had 30 shots. They were all over Southampton. But Southampton took the lead through Archer. They also hit the woodwork a couple of times towards the end of the game. They could have got something, to be honest. Bukayo Saka, once again proving he is world class, a goal and 2 assists. Both his assists were really good, and his goal, he pounced on a mistake, and that's what the best players need to do. The fact that so many people still disrespect this guy and don't put him in that world class category is just unbelievable, man. What more can the guy do? He's got 7 assists in 7 games alongside 2 goals. What can he do? What more can he do? Havertz yet again scoring at the Emirates. He's been incredible there in 2024. Martinelli once again got a goal. You know, he's starting to really rediscover his form over the last few games. The last 3 games now, he's got 2 goals and 2 assists, which is very, very good. And Arsenal have now gone 16 games unbeaten in all competitions. Southampton proved they can adapt. You know, they went a bit more defensive in this game, and they need to do it in more games if they are going to get points in this division. But Sugawara, again, the mistake for Saka's goal, that's got to be cut out. Like, they can't be doing this every game, because they are going to get punished in this league, especially against the best teams. Yep, I had a bit of a stinker in the next one. I did predict Wolverhampton Wanderers to get the first win of the season at the G-Tech. They lost 5-3. It was an 8-goal thriller. All 8 goals were scored by a different player, and all 8 of those players represent a different country. Bit trivia for you there. Brentford waited way too long to take the lead, man. They only scored in the 2nd minute now. On a real though, it's still ridiculous that they managed to score that early again. Like, what the hell are Wolves doing? How can you not see how threatening they are early on in games? And not, like, oh, whatever, man. It's got to stop at some point. Hopefully, man, that can stop it. That's probably unlikely. Collins also managed to score against his former club. Strand Larsen, I thought, was very decent in this game. He scored a really nice goal. But Wolves just cannot defend crosses and corners, and they got caught out multiple times. Brentford could have had another 2 or 3 goals from those. And despite the fact that he conceded 5 goals, Johnson had to make multiple good saves, which is not great for Wolves. You know, I've backed Gary O'Neill because they've had a very tough start to the season. But this is the sort of game where they needed to show a reaction, and they really didn't. And this result also means that Brentford are still unbeaten at home, although they should have lost in the first game against Crystal Palace. They have been very good at the G-Tech, although their games haven't been too difficult. They are doing what needs to be done. Leicester City against Bournemouth, I predicted a 2-2 draw. Leicester City got their first win since being promoted. Facundo Buonanotte, by the way, this boy, I told you, he is the truth, man. He is the future. For those of you that don't know why I'm backing him so much, one of my favourite footballers of all time is Paulo Dybala. He was one of the first footballers I really watched while I was getting into sport. And obviously, you know, we know his career has been plagued with injuries. He still had a very good one, but it could have been even better. Facundo Buonanotte reminds me so much of him. You know, the way he plays, he's got a cultured left foot. The way he moves with the ball, his technique, just everything. It's like a reincarnation. It's like a regen, or a pre-gen, I guess. And yeah, I'm hoping that his career isn't plagued by injuries like Paulo's was, and he can do what Paulo couldn't. You know what I mean? He's going to win the Ballon d'Or, right? I'm telling you right now, bookmark this, save this clip. Facundo Buonanotte will win a Ballon d'Or. He scored a beautiful goal. The way he shimmied away from Marco Senesi, one of his countrymen, with such ease and just smashed the ball into the back of the net was brilliant. He also set up Vardy with a brilliant chance, but he missed. Although in the second half, Bournemouth did hit back and they hit the woodwork twice. They were unlucky not to get anything in the end. But Facundo Buonanotte, my go, I love you. When City against Fulham, I predicted a 3-1 City win. They won 3-2, but they should have lost 5-3, man. Adama Traore, man. This guy gets into so many dangerous positions. His movement is brilliant. His pace, his strength, scary. But his ability to finish is horrible. He missed 3 sitters, 2 of them saved by Edison. The other one, he hit over the bar. All 3 of them should have been goals. Now, genuinely, you give him 1% of Kevin De Bruyne's footballing ability, and we have one of the greatest footballers of all time. He is so freaky physically, yeah? Like, he can dominate anyone. The way he breezed past Kyle Walker for one of them. No one ever has done that to Kyle Walker. Kylian Mbappe couldn't do that to Kyle Walker. I know he's getting on a bit now, but it's still Kyle Walker. Do you know what I mean? He's not 40 yet. And Fulham took the lead as well for Andreas Pereira, but Kovacic then scored 2 goals to turn the tide. Doku scored a screamer. Well, Fulham got consolation through Rodrigo Muniz, who might have now started to find his goal-scoring form that he had at parts last season. Doku's goal, by the way, I don't think I did it justice. It was a brilliant strike. The way he swerved the ball and sent Leno the wrong way from the distance that he did, brilliant. But it's the 3rd game in a row, and Man City have not looked good in the Premier League, and obviously I know Kevin De Bruyne's coming back, which is huge, but they do need to find a way to deal with the Rodri absence much better. West Ham against Ipswich, I predicted a close game. West Ham ran away with it. They took the lead in the first minute before Ipswich equalised just a few minutes after that. Antonio got a goal, but he also technically got 3 assists as well. I don't believe he's been credited with any of them, except on FPL. Jared Bowen, goal and an assist for him. He was brilliant. His goal was fantastic. And Calvin Phillips, you know, he was awful for West Ham last season, so he gave him a gift to kind of make up for it, I guess. But Liam Delap scored his first away goal in the Premier League this season, his 4th overall. He's been absolutely fantastic. What a signing he's been. And he also had a good header saved off the line by Areola. But West Ham had more chances as well. Could have hit the post. Souček had a goal cleared, well, shot cleared off the line. John Clare Tadiva made his first start for West Ham United in the Premier League, and he was fantastic. The way he drove with the ball was brilliant. You know, his technical ability is amazing. I don't know why he's not starting before. I get maybe he's trying to bed him in or whatever. But he needs to start the game now. First home win of the season for West Ham. It's about time they got it. Ipswich are still winless, and they probably need to be a bit more defensive away from home, like the way against Brighton. Everton against Newcastle, I did predict a draw here, but it really shouldn't have been a draw. Newcastle were definitely the better team in the first half. Bruno had a shot cleared off the line. They then got a penalty after James Tarkowski just threw Tonali to the floor for no reason. And Anthony Gordon against his former club stepped up and missed. It was a horrible penalty as well, one of the worst I've seen. But Everton had chances of their own. Gay, for example, missed an open goal. Eddie Howe then decided to take Barnes off around the hour mark. I really can't understand that decision because I know he wasn't too involved and Garner was fantastic, but Gordon was so rattled, he had to be the one to go off. Barnes still looked a bit more dangerous when he got the ball. For Everton to keep a clean sheet without Jared Branthwaite is a brilliant achievement considering how bad defensive they have been so far this season. So fair play to them for that. And Jordan Pickford obviously for the penalty save, so I know I don't rate him, but he did very well there. Aston Villa against Manchester United. I thought Villa were going to win and sack Ten Hag, ended up being a 0-0 draw. And it was one of the most boring games of football I think I've ever watched. Man United started the game fairly well, but towards the end of the half, Villa got more into it. Bruno Fernandes probably had the best opportunity, well, the closest opportunity, by hitting the bar from a free kick. Rashford had a couple chances as well. Garnacho should have played Bruno Fernandes in late on, but Villa had some chances. I guess Rodgers had a half chance. Rashford also really lucky to not get sent off. But the most insanement in this game came from the referee's communications not working. Chelsea against Nottingham Forest, I predicted a 2-1 Chelsea win. It ended up being a 1-1 draw, another brilliant away point for Nottingham Forest. In the first half, Chelsea's best moments came through Madueke and Sancho as well. Them two were very dangerous, especially Madueke. He was getting a lot of the ball. His decision making was a little bit questionable at times. Murillo almost scored a screamer. One day he will, I'm telling you. This season, he will score 5 goals minimum. Chris would then put Forest into the lead after a free kick. Madueke equalised very soon after, a brilliant finish from him, before James Ward-Prowse started to handle the ball and get himself sent off. So Forest ended the game with 10 men. The last 20 minutes they had to play with 10 men, and despite that, they did really, really well, and they almost won it themselves. Both goalkeepers in this game were top class. Especially at the time, both of them made some really high quality, world class saves. But for Forest to come to Stamford Bridge and get a point, they're still unbeaten on the road after 4 games, and they played Brighton, Nottingham Forest and Liverpool. The home form does need to improve, but that is brilliant. And for Chelsea, it's another poor home result, but they're still in the top 4, they're still a young team, they're going to have these sort of results throughout the season. Finally, Brighton Hove Albion against Tottenham Hotspur. I did predict a 4-2 Tottenham win, they lost 3-2. And I cannot believe they've lost this. First half was all Tottenham, they were absolutely phenomenal. It could have been 1-0 up after 20 seconds, but Werner missed up a 2-on-1. Brian Johnson scored his 6th goal in 6 games. Really nice finish on his left foot. Welbeck missed a sitter though for Brighton, a brilliant ball in from Kairu Matoma, who was very, very dangerous in this game, before Maddison made it 2-0. By the way, Joel Beltman, I actually hate you even more. The way he dived after Maddison didn't even touch him, after what he did to Rice, yeah, I despise the guy. But in the second half, it all went completely wrong. Brighton scored straight away. Destiny Udogie with a huge mistake, and Yankuba Minte got his first goal for his new club. Ruta then got his 2nd goal in 2 games after some brilliant footwork and a great finish into the bottom corner, but the 3rd goal was a comical series of mistakes from Tottenham Hotspur. First, Bentancur and Udogie got beaten far too easily by Ruta, and then Christian Romero just let Welbeck free. This is the 3rd time this season already that Christian Romero has been marking a guy and just let him get a free header. He did it against Vardy where they drew, he did it against Gabriel where they lost, and he's done it here again where they've lost. So he's cost them 5 points from stupid errors. A great goal from Welbeck though, and he's been fantastic at the start of this season. But what the hell happened to Tottenham in that second half? I do not know, man. It was horrendous. They just looked so complacent, and then they looked so scared. And I just can't believe the team we saw in the first half from them and the team we saw in the second half. But on the contrary, Brighton, they were awful in the first half. They looked like they were getting completely outclassed. In the second half, they didn't give up. And they completely smothered Tottenham. And they deserved the win based on how they played in that second half. Tottenham didn't carry a single threat. But yeah, Christian Romero, I'm sorry, you're not world class. You're not even close to world class. That's what I thought of the game. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and I'll see you soon.